Hello and welcome to Mr. Meyer's Math Magic. I'm Mr. Meyer and today we're going to be talking about probability. Now probability is the likelihood of an event occurring. And it can be represented in three different ways. Say we were doing the likelihood of selecting a red card when we have one red card and one black card. The probability of selecting one red card would be 1 is our desired outcome. So our desired outcome is our numerator, which in this case would be 1. The total number of outcomes would be our denominator. So total number would be our denominator, which in this case we have two possible outcomes. So the fraction that we set up is 1/2. So now this same probability can also be represented as a decimal. Because a fraction is just division, we can set up the division house, have the 2 on the outside, 1 on the inside. 2 goes into 1 0 times. Put a placeholder 0 right here. 2 times what equals 10? It is 5. 5 times 2 is 10 with no remainder. Making sure that we have our decimal lined up. So as a fraction, it was 1/2. As a decimal, it's 0.5. And we can also represent it as a percent. To represent it as a percent, all we need to do is take the decimal and multiply that times 100. So I have 0.5 times 100. So now doing this multiplication, 0 times 5 is 0, 0 times 5 is 0, 1 times 5 is 5, making sure that I'm keeping track of how many decimals I had in my question, which there was 1 decimal place in my question. So now in my answer, I need to make sure that I put that 1 decimal place. So the answer for how many percent it would be 50%. So the probability is 50%, half, or 0.5. When it's represented as a fraction or a decimal, it needs to be between 0 and 1. If the probability of something occurring is 0, like if I take away the black card and replace it with a red card, the probability of choosing a black card would be 0%, because there is no black. If all I have are red cards, and then I look at the probability of choosing a red card, right now it would be 1 out of 1, which would be equal to 1. So 0 is that it is impossible, and 1 is that it is certain to occur. So this example right here of 1/2, 0.5, and 50% is exactly halfway between both of those. It's equally likely to occur as it is to not occur. Now I'm going to look at the magic of probability. I'm taking just a normal deck that has 52 cards total. So our total number of outcomes possible is 52. So if you select a card, there's your card right there. I just take it, put it right around the middle of the deck, and now I close up the deck. Okay, so the probability of me choosing your card randomly out of the deck would be 1 out of 52 cards total. And now I'm just imagining your card right there. Here's a trick called Find the Queen, where you have 3 cards. One is the Queen of Hearts, and there are 2 other black cards. These are distraction cards. Now, this game is a game that certain individuals use to swindle people out of money because it takes their knowledge of probability and the fact that the probability of choosing 1 card out of 3 is a 33% chance or a 0.33. So there is a good likelihood that you can randomly choose the queen, and that people think that if they're keeping good track, the probability increases from there and can be more than 50%. Okay, so the way that the game works is that taking the cards, I take the queen, which is right here, and I put it down, and then I mix the other cards up. And now just continuing to mix the cards up. Okay, so now if you guessed that the queen was there, you would be wrong. If you guessed that it was there, you would also be wrong. The queen is actually right here. So now this is actually based on a principle of sleight of hand, where initially I'm holding both of these cards, and then when I place the card down, I make it look like I'm putting the queen down, but I'm actually putting down the 3 of clubs. So that's what the move is right there. So I actually have the queen here, and then I drop these, and then would continue to mix them up. And then making them think that the card that I put down that was the queen is actually the 3 of clubs. And the card that is actually the queen is right here.